let us move into the very important aspect, that is learning cycle. So we know that learning cycle generally, when I believe about these instructions, in general, what is a learning? That is, there will be a absorber, there will be a delivering person, and we evaluate it and we share the result. So this is a general way, or we say that absorber or deliver, absorber and outcome. So what the person has delivered, what the person has absorbed, and how it is going to get the outcome. Now, on based upon that, we are following some different learning cycles. What these learning cycles helps us? They helps us how the the learning process is going on. So based upon that, I can these learning cycles, the instructional designs plays an important, like I can with the help of that I can use that which cycle is going to good fit for my learners. Okay, whether it is just delivery and absorbing, or whether it is there some other mode, whether is there some other steps to be included. So these learning models or learning cycles helps to help. Now, in that one, the most popular and uh, the the commonly used learning cycle is Kolb's learning cycles. Okay, so this Kolb's learning cycle is purely on experimental learning theories. Okay, which works on the two models or the two levels. Okay, it's purely on the experimental learning theories. Like, what do you mean by experimental learning theories? Means I will, for example, today we'll study like this. If it is going to work out, fine. Tomorrow, if it is not, again I will come up with some other method. If that is working, that is experimental. Means trying again and again, trying things with some different methods is called as an experimental learning theory. Okay, like I'm not going to rely on one particular method. I'll be keep trying with others. So, and in that one, again, it works on the two levels. Next, 4-stage cycles of learning and 4 separate learning styles. So this Kolb's learning cycle or the model includes 4 different stages. Okay, levels is different, stages are different. Okay, and 4 separate learning styles. So we already know that what are the learning styles, like listening, by watching, by mixed combination. Those are the learning styles. So it includes 4 stages, and in 4 that stages, 4 separate learning styles have been used. Then Kolb's theory is concerned with learners' internal cognitive process. Learners' internal cognitive processes. Okay, so these are the key points or the key things the Kolb's learning cycles is included. Now let's understand what are those 4 stages, what are the 2 levels, what are the 4 separate learning styles that we include in Kolb's learning cycle. Now, in Kolb's experimental learning style theory is represented by 4 stages, as we already know that. And what are those 4 stages? First, experience, observation, conceptualization, experimentation. So these are the 4 stages now. These are the 4 stages. Now, what happens in the experience? Okay, in a concrete experience, doing and having an experience. Like here, I will perform and I will get an experience. I will do some tasks, I will get some experience. This is the first phase. The next one is reflective observation. Like whatever the task I have done, whatever experience I have gained, how it going to reflect? Reviewing on that one. Reflection, like what is the reflection of that task, or what is that reflection of that experience that I will get. The next one is conceptualization. Now here, concluding or learning from the experience, like I did some work, I learned something, how it is reflected, then learning from that reflection. learning from that reflection. The next one is experimentation. Based upon this, planning and trying out what you have learned, means implementation. So these are the four different stages. The best, I'll take an example. I'm a student. I want to learn mathematics. That's my concrete experience. Let's learn mathematics from day 1 to day 30 with all the modules. All the modules. Now, how it going to reflect? Like if I do some problems, if I do some answers, if I give some answers, if anybody asks me a question, that's my reflection. The learning, then my reflection. Now, what is conceptualization? Now here, learning from the experience and concluding. Now, I learn, it is reflected on my experience, it's reflecting on my scorecard. Then again concluding that, yes, this is what I have learned. I have learned arithmetic. I have learned geometry. So that's what my conclusion. Then again, implementing them into the practice. So these are the four learning cycles or the stages that included in Kolb's learning. Now, we also said that there will be four different learning styles. Okay. Now, let us collaborate these stages and styles, how it will look. Now, how it works is the new experience or situations is encountered. Okay. Then the observation and reflections on the experience. Like first one is experiments, the experience gained by learning or existing experience, that whatever we are having, based upon that we will learn something. Then observing of reflection that on that experience. Like same thing I took example, no, the person student learn mathematics, his interest, and how it is going to reflect. Then abstracting, like the conceptualizing is analyzing, like where I'm good, like I'm good at arithmetic, where I'm good at the geometry, I'm good at some XYZ topics. Then test the hypothesis in future situation result. The new experiences. New experiences means, yes, based upon that, what will be my next learning? How it going to help me out? So that will be. This is how it works. The same thing, the way I explained the example. Now, as we have said, the Kolb's learning styles. There are four learning styles is also included. Okay. So the learning style is different from the learning cycle. Exact, not cycle, the stages of learning. Now, in the Kolb's learning theory was set in 1974, in the early 1974. So the four distinct learning styles, which are based on the four learning stages. Whatever the stages that we are following, based upon that only these styles have been implemented or styles have been collaborated with them in order to get more better results on the learning cycle. Now, the various factors influences the person's the preferred styles. For example, social, environmental, educational experiences, or the basic cognitive structure of an individual. Means there are a lot of things that influences to adopt those learning styles. Understand? If I'm good at my cognitive ability, so I will be able to implement that one. If it is depending upon its educational experience, those styles will be implemented. So now understand what are those four types of learning styles. As already it is mentioned, the learning stages are different, learning styles are different, but they work together to get good result for our learners. Yeah. Now, these are the four important types of learning styles that are mentioned in Kolb's model. Okay. One is diverging, assimilating, then converging, and accommodating. So name itself indicates that you can easily guess that what it will be. First one is diverging, like feeling and watching. This is one method. I think these styles we have already learned in our previous, like listening, watching, in combination of those things, verbal, then visualization, the same thing, but the name they have given in a different way. The next one is watching and thinking. The third one is that is converging doing and thinking. And accommodating is doing and feeling. The combination of all together they have. Now, so this picture gives you understanding that where exactly and which uh, the style is used in between those, or where exactly it is going to fall. Though we already know that the concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation. Now, here, what happens in this cycle? So, here it comes the feeling and watching. So, the whatever the learning that is taking place in between these two stages, that will be of diverging, which includes feel and watch. Like, I need to feel that, I need to understand, get involved in that one, that learning, and I also watch that. By watching, and I'll feel that one. For example, if I take some science experiment, I can feel that, I can also watch that how it is taking place. So that's what is included. That is the diverging. So the diverging falls like this is feeling, thinking, watching. Like you can keep this thing as like for a experience, feeling will come. For reflection, observation, watching, and abstract conceptualization, thinking, and experimentation and doing. Now, experience means it's a kind of feel that we will get it after doing some task. As the name indicates, reflective observation. How you can observe? By watching something. So that's the watching part. Then abstract conceptualization. The concepts, how you develop your concepts by thinking. So that's the reason it has thinking has been included over here. Now, active experimentation. How you experiment? By doing some task, by doing some different activity, you will get some experiments or you do some experimentation. That's the reason the doing is included over here. Now, in between these two stages, whatever the learning happens, it will be combination of both together. Is it clear? So experience is like feeling, observation, just how I observe when I watch it, how I think, how my concepts comes by thinking. Over that, my concepts will going to evolve. Experiments, by doing only I'll do can experiment. Now, the in between these the stages, each the learning styles falls. Okay, the whatever the transition that is taking place between these stages, that is because of these styles. Okay, so if the learner starts and he want to move in this stage from stage 1 to stage 2, the whatever learning that takes place, it will be on the feel and on watch. The learner who is moving from observation stage to conceptual stage means his learning is moving towards observing and thinking, like towards thinking, visualization. In those learnings will takes place by thinking and watching, or watching and thinking. Similarly, when his concepts come and he will start doing experimental, when he moves from this stage to the next stage, the learner's learning will be from the thinking to do kind of things. Yeah. So now, can anyone tell me where we can implement these learning phase, learning style? This model where we can implement it. So this kind of learnings can be implemented in where the technology will be there, where your hardware components comes into picture, like where you can feel and sense it, where you can understand that one, where you can watch how it is going to perform. So for example, I'll take some computer, the laptop. You can feel it, you can watch it, you can think on how you can develop it, and you can start working on it. Understanding my point?
Yes.
So in those kind of areas, you can utilize these learnings. where there will be including of tasks where the learner will going to perform some experiments. He thinks on that one, he observes, he experiences those things. So in those kind of learnings, you can use these models to make them to understand about the learnings. Now, now this is more in descriptive manner. It's very descriptive that will going to help you out. Now, concrete experiences reflect your observation, abstract conceptualization, and active. And among these two, we already know that divergent and assimilator, convergent and accommodator. Now here, it has a powerful imagination. That's the first point. Like these stages, in between these stages, and it is capable of producing a knowledge and seeing issues from the different angles. So in this one, what learners will be having, how it will going to help them. So these are the points. Then interested in people, like it helps us to create that interest, and has many cultural interests and specializations in artistic affairs, the common learning styles in people with a record of humanities and fine arts. This is one example that we have taken, how it, the points or how we can describe and how it is going to help them at each phases for the learners. Next, in a reflective, between reflective and in abstract uh, conceptualization. So here it will be very capable of so innovating theoretical models. Like here we'll get to know that how we can innovate and develop the theoretical models, the good skills of deductive reasoning, and interested in abstract concepts rather than the people. Like I will be focusing on my concepts rather than on people's performance, how he is going to perform, how he is going, like I'll be on, like on my concepts, I'll be focused on my concepts, not much interested in particular use of theories. Means I'll be not much interested to use any practical theories, because here my observation and concepts will be on my thinking, where my practical things comes in the experimentations. Okay, here it will be in this stage, it is not having much a practical theories. Then abstracted to basic science and mathematics, and often works in planning and research areas. So where it works, so this works in my helpful in like in research and planning kind of activities. Like in that stage, in my entire task and in my entire work, where my planning and research activities are taking, so this stage will fits work in that area. Now, when the learning is taking place from the abstract to conceptualization to active experimentation, so here it is very capable of practical use of thoughts. Yes, because my thoughts are generated in my mind. Now I have to do those things. I have to execute those things. Then only the experimentation will happen. That's what it is going to use, very capable of using the practical thoughts. Acts well when there is no one, when there is a one correct answer. So it, because why one correct answer? Because experiments gives you a results. So my thought comes into my picture. Yes, this is the thing I want to do. Then only you will act. So that's only one thing that will come into picture. Right now you have to do that. So that's the one correct answer. You will get it and you will act on that one. And here the learners can focus a comparative and hypothetical the arguments on specific issues. So here you can focus on comparative, like because thinking will be there, experimentation will be there, you will get results, you can start comparisons on the things what you have did. And it is unemotional, prefer to work with the things rather than the people, obviously, because your thinking is in your mind. You're not going to experiment those things with your people, you are going to experiment with your thoughts. Yeah. And has limited interest and preference skills in a physical science. So here it's, as the name indicates, conceptualization and experimentation. The physical science is not included. It's all about the doing, thinking and implementing and doing those tasks. Now the next comes the stages, the active experimentation and the concrete experience. Among this, in between this, it gives us the great ability of doing the things, because this is a experimentation. I need to do my work, okay, and it can adopt immediately to issues. Like if any changes that is going to reflect me, I will, if anything is not going to feasible for me at that moment, I'll adopt immediately a new thing, new work, new task or new experimentation. And it can solve the problems by intuitions. Like immediately I can try to solve the problems by getting into that one and uh, getting the solution for that one, okay, and depends on the other collecting informations, okay. So because the experiments gives us the results, for that I need to get some good concrete accumulate, like I need to get some the data for that, so that information can be observed. Often choose the practical jobs such as sales and marketing. So here in this one, so in this phase, these learnings gets more implemented in the form of the sales or in the marketing, like often to choose the practical jobs, like there will be having more experimentation kind, where there will be having more result oriented or the data driven. There it going to comes. Now you may get the confusion that why we at each phases we have used different things. In the first phase, we discussed that this will be more helpful for the recording humanities and fine art. In the second phase, we use like the planning and research areas. Third phase, we use like the physical sciences, and in the third phase, in the fourth phase, we say that it will be like sales and marketing. Now you may have a question that how in a single model it will be like. It doesn't mean that the entire model is wrong. Where these areas be focused more among these stages or learning style, where this is going to helpful. Like these are the more impactful jobs or more impactful areas. Like in concrete experience in observation, the humanities and fine art areas will be having more impact for learning in those areas. And reflective observation and concept, abstract conceptual among those. If I follow these between these, whatever the learnings that happens, that will be creating more impact on the planning and research areas. Okay, so this is how this model is going to work. Now let's understand these diverging, assimilating, and converging, as well as accommodating. Uh, the first learning styles that is included in a Kolb's model, and the people who prefer these styles. Okay, so those people who are able to look at the things from the different perspective. Okay, who are sensitive, like they'll be sensitive. They prefer to watch rather than do. Okay, they tend to gather the information and use the imagination to solve the problems. They are the best at viewing concrete situations, several different viewpoints. So this model, like as I said, no, four different stages, four different models, and this model in Kolb's model, this style is fitted for these people, like, who are have good ability to observe rather than doing the task. They will observe, they will sense that one, and they will try to solve it in the imagine, in their feeling itself, in their thought. For them it is more helpful. Now the second learning style, assimilating, in this one the preference is for a concise logical approach. Okay, like the person who is thinking in a logical aspects. Okay, then idea and concepts are more important than the people. Like here, because the next is, first one is feeling, then next one is watching. So the next phase that continues after this one is, it does not concentrate on the people, it only gives more important on the ideas and its concepts. And these people required good, clear explanation rather than the practical opportunities. They excel at understanding wide range of information and organizing it a clear logical format. Like here, whatever the learning people that falls under these learning styles, so they need some good, clear explanation rather than the practical approach. And these people are like they want to absorb it, like they want to watch that. Okay. Next, converging. So here, more number of people fall under these areas. The people with converging learning styles can solve the problems. Okay. They use their learnings to find the solutions to the practical issues, because the next phase itself including the experimentations. And they prefer to a technical task. They are less concerned with the people and interpersonal aspects. They are the best at finding the practical uses for the ideas and theories. They can solve problems and make the decisions by finding the solutions to the questions and the problems. Okay. The next is accommodating. Okay. Now, in the accommodating the learning style is hands-on and relies on uh, the situations or the things that practically is possible rather than the logically. Okay, so it will be like gives more on hands-on experience. We'll implement it, we accommodate some learnings models rather than logical thinking, and it uses other people's analysis and prefer to take the practical and experimental approach. So rather than it just uses other people, like if I do analysis, it uses that one and it performs more on the practical. It will take that, but it will not think logically. The person will not go logically. The person will go on more on the practical and experimental approaches. These peoples are attracted to new challenges and experiences and to the carry out the plans. And they commonly act on the gut instinct rather than logical analysis. So these are the people who fall under them. Like if they are more comfortable or they are adopting these learning styles, these are the things that will going to help them, or these are the things that will be developed under them. And these are the people fall under those categories. This model is clear to you